Do you know that feeling where you're laughing and crying at the same time?
Weeknights on CBS.
Is it time to clean your closet? Don't throw out those clothes. Consign them and make money.
I can help with that.
Second time around, the CSRA's oldest and most trusted consignment store is now accepting gently used clothes, shoes, and accessories for the whole family.
We can help with that.
They're also taking in gently used furniture and housewares.
We can help with that.
Come in today and see why local shoppers have been trusting Second Time Around for more than 40 years. Open Monday through Saturday on 3690 Washington Road.
If you were on the fence about ordering McDonald's...
Live from Augusta, you're watching News 12, live at 5.
The city of Augusta working to better fight opioid addiction, and it could be as easy as grabbing chips from a vending machine. But first tonight, we are just learning a former Augusta University basketball player has been shot and killed. 27-year-old Tyvez Monroe was number 13 when he played for AU. Investigators say right after Christmas, Monroe was sitting at a bus stop in D.C. when 36-year-old Deontay Spicer approached him with an unleashed dog. This was just before 4:30 in the morning. They exchanged fist bumps and talked for a few minutes before police say Spicer unzipped his jacket and pulled out an AR-15. That's when they say he shot Monroe. AU men's basketball coach Demetris praised Monroe for his competitive spirit. Monroe's funeral is Saturday, January 13th. It's at 10 a.m. at Shiloh Baptist Church in Virginia.
Well, we have managed to stay mostly dry today, but we are going to bring in the chance for a few showers later this evening into early tonight. All this will be moving out, though, by the time we wake up early tomorrow morning. All thanks to this area of low pressure just tracking out of the Gulf of Mexico, moving through for the rest of tonight, and then we're back to sunshine by early tomorrow morning. Now, looking at our radar network, so this is looking at the Columbia, Macon, Atlanta, and Greenville and Charleston radars, and it looks like there's a good bit of rain out there. But when we use our new radar that's located there in Harlem in southern Columbia County, this has a much lower scan, and this gives us a much better idea of what's actually reaching the ground level. So a lot of this rain is actually evaporating before it hits the ground. So the radar there in Harlem doing a pretty good job showing that we're likely are seeing some rain there in McDuffie County, all the way up towards Clarksville Lake, all the way to downtown Washington and Wilkes County. Looks to be pretty light in nature, and that's going to be the general trend with these showers moving through for the rest of tonight. We are expecting rain, just not going to be all that heavy, but we'll have that opportunity for rain at least around midnight tonight. Once we get into the overnight hours, looks like most of this rain should be out of here. Here's a look across the area. Temps are in the 40s, so it is going to be a chilly rain over the next couple of hours. Have much more on this forecast in just a bit. Let's get a quick update on your First Alert traffic.
And now, First Alert traffic.
All right, here's the current view just outside of our building, looking at I-20 and Riverwatch Parkway. Traffic, okay, eastbound, westbound lanes. Not really seeing too many slowdowns. Riverwatch Parkway doesn't look overly busy from that vantage point we're looking at. Now, we got the zoomed-in view of the new interchange here at Lewiston Road, exit 190. I don't believe they have switched over into the new traffic pattern just yet, but you can see they have the setup in place, and just going to be a matter of time before they do open that up and cause a little bit of confusion for us. We'll have an update on some more rain moving in for the weekend in just about 10 minutes.
All right, thanks for that, Riley. Augusta Mayor Garnett Johnson wants to take a creative approach when it comes to opioid treatment. He wants to bring vending machines full of Narcan to our area for the first time to make those life-saving overdose drugs easier to access. Our Craig Allison spoke with Mayor Johnson. And Craig, this is from opioid settlement money. So how much are we talking here for this project?
The money is coming in the tune of more than $7 million in 2 settlements over the course of 18 years. So far, the city already has almost $700,000 of that money that needs action to move forward. Mayor Garnett Johnson said in his State of the City yesterday, some of the settlement money would be used for those drug recovery vending machines. He says they could be seen in nightclubs, hotel lobbies, and other spots where he believes drug users have a high presence. But while they say they have the money, anything approved by the city goes through the Department of Public Health to move forward. We talked to a doctor who works with people battling addiction who says treatment centers really could use the money. And here's the mayor's response to that.
They are desperate to get it, and I can attest the money is in our account, so we do have the money, but we just need to take action as the mayor's office and the commission. And I tell you, here coming in the coming weeks, we'll make sure that we get action taken by putting an agenda item together to take a look at the dollars and see how we best proceed with those settlement dollars that we've already received.
All new on News 12 at 6 o'clock. We'll also hear from Dr. Marshall Better at the Augusta VA on his thoughts on how to use the money and how to have a seat at the table during those talks.
Thanks, Craig. Keep us posted on perhaps when vending machines arrive with Narcan in it. That'll be interesting to see. The Charleston County Sheriff's Office has one of these vending machines Craig was talking about in place already. Take a look. That machine gives free Narcan to people released from the jail to help prevent drug overdoses. The Sheriff's Office says those in alcohol and drug programs will be counseled on how to use them. That machine is stocked with 54 boxes of Narcan. U.S. Senator John Ossoff's bill authorizing upgrades to Fort Eisenhower's Cyber Center of Excellence was signed into law by President Joe Biden. So that means construction on new classrooms in the Cyber Center to help address the rapid advancement of cyber security threats can begin. The law also gives more funding to the Department of Defense to modernize the center, enhancing its capabilities for the growing cyber workforce. President Joe Biden will be in South Carolina Monday. It is a push to highlight what the campaign calls the high stakes of the upcoming election. He'll be speaking at Mother Emanuel Church in Charleston. You might remember Mother Emanuel was the site of a racist, deadly mass shooting that happened back in 2015. Georgia's electronic voting system. Right now, 16 and 17-year-olds in South Carolina can be prescribed medication without their parents' approval. Some lawmakers, they want to reverse that, or at least require parental or guardian consent for minors to get prescriptions filled. But doctors warn this could have some unintended consequences. Our State House reporter Mary Green has the details.
This bill would require South Carolina healthcare providers immediately notify parents or guardians if they're prescribing medication for minors. It would also mandate pharmacies get parental or guardian consent before they can fill that prescription.
Children do not have the maturity, ability, or knowledge to make life-altering decisions on their own. They need parental involvement. How can the government and medical providers know the individual needs of our children?
The bill had its first hearing Wednesday. Pediatricians told senators they believe parents should be involved in their children's health care, but warn enacting this could have unintended consequences. They spoke of situations in which 16 and 17-year-olds are sick and at the doctor's office by themselves because their parents are at work, and then might be unable to receive medication for their illness because the doctor can't get in contact with their parent. Or they fear teens would refuse to get tested for sexually transmitted infections because their parents would have to be notified and consent for them to be treated. Pharmacists say under this, they wouldn't be able to physically fill prescriptions until the parent consents, which could back up their workflow and affect all prescriptions, including that child's.
If there is a delay, they may not come back and get that prescription for that minor. And so the efforts that have gone to treat an infection that could prevent from spreading at school, if it's strep, which we know will go like wildfire, you will end up having those issues that take place.
Senators on the subcommittee say they want to take a closer look at those concerns and potentially amend this bill before they decide if they'll advance it. Reporting from the State House, I'm Mary Green.
DHEC says enacting the bill as it is currently could cause about a $10 million hit. The state health department says these requirements wouldn't allow South Carolina to receive some money that it's getting right now from the federal government for family planning and STD services. A South Carolina lawmaker has pre-filed a bill he says will help alleviate the affordable housing crisis. The bill, known as House Bill 4544, would allow churches to build affordable housing without being taxed. Representative Wendell Jones says there's an affordable housing shortage in every county of South Carolina, as well as an uptick in rent. Seeing that churches are already tax exempt, the bill would allow them to provide land for projects, which in turn would bring down the cost of building affordable housing, making it easier to create these projects.
Citizens in South Carolina get to advocate too. You get to call the chairpersons of those committees. You get to call your local officials and say, I really support this bill and I need you to support this bill. Our goal is to be representatives, to represent the desires of the people.
He says it will be a long process before the bill makes it to the Senate, but of course, we will keep you posted. Also at the State House, lawmakers are expected to take up a bill centered around the long-debated lack of a hate crime law. It is sitting in the Senate now. There's also a bill on the table to allow people to carry loaded, concealed guns without a permit or training. Another to legalize medical marijuana, which failed to get enough votes last session for a debate. The General Assembly is set to convene next Tuesday. It's a way to fight crime better and faster, some say. Up next, we'll show you how one Georgia law enforcement agency is taking to the sky to catch bad guys. Riley?
And we have our eyes on the skies. We are tracking a few showers moving into the region, and we'll continue into portions of tonight. We'll have the forecast just after the break.
Rent prices are rising all across the state and right here in Augusta. But all new tonight on News 12 at 6 o'clock, we're breaking down the help that's right here for those in need.
Wrdw.com/sketchthesky for more details. Sponsored by Hobbytown Augusta.
A cold day out there today, Riley. When I woke up this morning, I wanted to get right back in bed and right under the covers and not even go outside.
Man, we got down to 24 degrees this morning.
It was terrible.
Yeah, it was absurdly cold out there to start off the day. And hey, if temperatures were as cold as what they were this morning, this stuff showing up on the lens would look a little bit different out there. But temperatures are currently in the 40s, so still chilly, just well above freezing. So this is just going to be some showers pushing through this evening and to tonight. Here's a live view over the Savannah River from our Thurman Dam cam, and you can see just a few raindrops every now and again. So nothing overly heavy, but this is going to be found across most of the CS array over the next several hours. So temps in the 40s, light showers passing on through, all thanks to an area of low pressure moving out of the Gulf of Mexico. Now, what's interesting is that our freezing layer isn't too far up above the surface. So what we're seeing right here, what looks like maybe heavy rain on the radar, could actually be what we call bright banding. So the radar actually picking up on snowflakes, making it look like heavy rain, but those snowflakes are melting before they hit the ground. So I wouldn't expect to see any of those, but pretty interesting to see on radar. This is generally light rain for the northern CS area at the moment, trying to get closer to us here in Augusta, but we still have some fairly dry air in place, so that's going to keep those rain rates fairly low for the next couple of hours. Rain chances will be with us, I would imagine, up until around 9-10 o'clock, and then once we get closer to midnight, we're eliminating all this rain and back to dry weather for Thursday and Friday. Thursday morning, going to be chilly out there, not as cold as this morning, but still close to freezing, most likely low to mid 30s across the board out there for the first part of the day. Tomorrow afternoon should be very nice. We'll bring back sunshine, and as far as high temperatures go, we should stay in the mid 50s again, but I think a number of schools are actually heading back to school tomorrow, so heading out to the bus stop, bundle up, a little bit cool out there. Here's a look at the rain pushing through the rest of this evening into tonight. You can see that should be clear of us once we get after the midnight hour. And for tomorrow, we're expecting lots of sun as high pressure starts to build back in. That is going to keep our temperatures on the cool side with highs only in the 50s. Back down to freezing Friday morning, and we will notice a few more clouds showing up by Friday afternoon. Dry through the afternoon hours, but our next system is going to start showing up heading into Friday night and early Saturday morning. Our in-house model here is now now within the time frame of this system for the weekend, and watch what it's thinking for this. So mainly a morning rain chance lasting up until about midday, but then once we get past the noon hour, we're looking mostly dry Saturday afternoon. So I wouldn't necessarily cancel everything you have planned outside during the day Saturday. Right now it looks like those rain chances generally just highest before the lunch hour, and then a little bit of improvement as we head into our Saturday afternoon. We are expecting dry weather the next couple of days if you're heading up to the lake. Thursday, Friday, high temps there, low 50s, and some pretty cold mornings as well. Not much of a wind factor the next couple of days. Out of the north tomorrow, less than 15, and generally between 5 to 10 out of the east by Friday. Lake levels still relatively pretty low, close to 8 feet below that summer full pool. Here's a look at that 7-day forecast we have. Clear skies back for tomorrow and Friday, but more rain shows up Saturday morning, and then another stronger system by next Tuesday.
All right, thanks for that, Riley. Drones are changing policing. Hundreds of agencies already use the technology, but a few agencies are also using them to answer emergency calls. Mark Strausman visited one community near Atlanta to see them at work and learn how police are responding to privacy concerns.
This is 911. What's the address?
On the edge of Atlanta, a 911 call.
check on a suspicious person.
All right, launch it.
In Brookhaven, Georgia, the police first responder, a drone, racing by air to answer the call along with patrol officers in cruisers.
It allows us to either escalate a police response or de-escalate it based on the things that we're seeing here in the camera view.
Lieutenant Abram Ayana led the launch of the department's DFR program 2 years ago. DFR for Drone First Responder. The drones don't patrol, they respond. It's aerial intelligence relaying visuals about fast-changing circumstances on the ground.
Murray, stop right there.
To officers flying the drones and communicating with patrol units.
Do me a favor, just put both your hands on the steering wheel.
Even on a routine traffic stop, the drone becomes their backup.
There's a relief that I know someone else is still looking after me. I don't actually have a physical backup.
A big advantage, response time. On the ground, Brookhaven police typically need 4.5 minutes to respond to an emergency call. But by drone, without having to mess with traffic, in the vast majority of cases, that response time drops to 90 seconds.
The drone's there.
Ayana showed us how that quick response has paid off.
Get on the ground.
As this officer arrested an armed robbery suspect, a second suspect inside the store panicked.
They'll run out the back of the CVS, has no idea that there's a drone above him. He jumps another fence, he runs, jumps several more fences.
The drone led officers right to him.
And there he is appearing now. And he was captured without incident, with a fraction of the time and a fraction of the resources that otherwise would have been expended.
Brookhaven's police department is young, only a decade old. This drone program might not fly in much of America.
A lot of police agencies have a tougher time because they have to deal with issues around privacy and transparency.
Trust.
Trust is a big thing. Trust is a big thing. We don't use drones in Brookhaven as a crime control tactic. And that removes any concern for profiling or any of those concerns about policing certain areas and certain demographics differently.
With a bird's eye view, suspects still can run, but they can't hide. Mark Strassman, CBS News, Brookhaven, Georgia.
Several law enforcement agencies here at home already use drones when it comes to fighting crime. We're all just one click away from being scammed, right? And those scams, they're getting more and more sophisticated. Coming up, the latest target and what you can do to protect yourself.
First of all,
Furniture sell ends this Saturday at 6 p.m.
We know you get up early. That's why we get up even earlier.
Finding out the things you want to know. Rain? Well, that can mess up your whole day. I'll tell you what to expect outside, on the way home, and at night if the kids have a game.
In the mornings, we've got one job, making sure you've got no surprises on your way to work.
If it happens overnight or breaks early in the morning, we're going to tell you about it.
When that alarm goes off, get up and get out with News 1226 this morning on your side.
Fraudsters target people of all ages, but new research by the Better Business Bureau's Institute for Marketplace Trust examines a significant increase in the dollar amount that young adults are losing to scams. In this Watching Your Wallet, consumer investigator Carice Jackman speaks with an expert about the warning signs.
From fake checks to cryptocurrency, the Better Business Bureau says scammers have their eyes set on targeting our youth.
They grew up with the internet. They're not as skeptical as most of us are. And unfortunately, this age group is giving their money a little bit more than anybody else.
According to a new BBB Scam Tracker report, about 43% of employment scams reported by 18 to 24-year-olds mention fake checks. Scammers often ask their targets to deposit a check and transfer funds to another person or account. By the time the person realizes the check is fake, it's too late. McGovern says many young adults, specifically Gen Zers, don't know or remember how a check actually works.
They might not know what a check is or how it works or, how much information is on a check that could get people into trouble, that all routing numbers are the same for the bank. We had a report once of a person who said that the check was emailed to them. Checks are not emailed. Checks need to be physically in your hand. So again, having those conversations about payment methods with younger adults, really important.
In addition to fake check scams, reshipping schemes also top the list. According to the report, about 19% of employment scam reports from victims between 18 and 24 years old involved inspecting or reshipping packages. Scammers ask their target to receive and reship products, sometimes illegally.
They'll do a couple of jobs for the scammer, get paid a little bit, keep doing these reshipping jobs, and then all of a sudden they're not getting paid anymore. And in some cases, what they're reshipping could be stolen goods.
Cryptocurrency and investment scams with young adults are also on the rise.
We know there are a lot of people get confused about how does crypto work. So if you get an investment opportunity from a friend on social media, reach out to that friend off that platform and say, hey, is this really you? Did this really work? It goes back to, if it's too good to be true, it probably is.
So if you're a young adult, make sure you pay attention to the warning signs, red flags, and before you agree to a job or send any kind of money or information about yourself, do your homework. With this Watching Your Wallet, I'm Carice Jackman.
An ounce of prevention, right? In addition to employment scams, the BBB says online purchase scams ranked among the top 3 riskiest for all age groups, and it was the number 2 riskiest for young adults.
Well, for the weekend, we are bringing back some rain early Saturday. It looks like it should be dry, though, by Saturday afternoon, and Sunday looks beautiful, nice and seasonal for us. Now look at that 7-day forecast just after the break.
Brakes for left.
Service with a national reach. Let us show you what we can do for you on air and online. For more information, visit wrdw.com/advertise.
Morning, afternoon, night, Monday through Sunday, 24/7. Our first alert commitment to you is the power of 5 meteorologists, always tracking weather that impacts you, telling you what we know as soon as we know it. All the tools, the latest technology, and the first team of 5 meteorologists. First Alert is our investment in your family's safety. News 12's First Alert weather on your side.
All right, welcome back, folks. Here's a look at the Savannah River from our Thurman Dam cam, and that is a spot in the CS Ray that is seeing some light rainfall across the region. So we are keeping the opportunity for some rain for most of the CS Ray through this evening, early tonight. Here's a quick look at our radar network to where up towards the lake between McCormick, Lincolnton, downtown Washington, just some steady light rain pushing through. And most of this is north of Augusta. We're not seeing much in the way of rainfall here in town at the moment, but I would imagine as we continue later into this evening, we see just a few stray showers out there. Good to go again by our Thursday, waking up to sunshine, cold temps, and another system does look likely by Saturday. Stick with us, much more on Live at 5 just after the break.
On air and online, News 12's First Alert Traffic and Live Eye Camera Network is sponsored by Mountaineer Pest Services. Protect your home at StopMyBugs.com.
The 2020